Here at the University of Canterbury we have the New Zealand South Asia Centre, which started as a collaboration of scholars across campus who have research interests of various sorts on India and South Asia. For the University of Canterbury, I think the Jong collection is one of their magnet collections. It's something that's really special, that is unique to this university. And so part of what we wanted to do as our mission statement is to support and promote or make more visible the resources and the research that we have on campus. So I had an idea that we had this De Jong collection within the library, but really in order to catalogue it properly and to understand it better, because it is so vast and so rich, is that there needs to be much more scholarly collaboration between research scholars who are familiar with parts of the collection and the various languages that you find them in, and the librarians who are doing their absolute best to be able to properly archive it, digitise it, to be able to understand more about the value and the worth, not just in dollar figures, but for scholarly purposes of the collection. So the collection is divided roughly into two parts. There are the books of De Jong, which have been catalogued on and put on the stacks in the Central Library, which anybody can go and have a look at. And there's the archive material, of which there's about 100 boxes of various sorts filled with letters and correspondence and receipts and postcards and manuscripts and copies of manuscripts and microfilms, and really a treasure trove. De Jong kept things in the original envelopes, so you can see who they're addressed to, when they were sent. They've got beautiful stamps. You pull them out, there are these amazing facsimiles of manuscripts. So we now have a rough preliminary survey of what the collection contains. We found original manuscripts in Tibetan, some written on palm leaves from the north of Thailand. So the first thing that the librarians had to do was, of course, is preserve these. So now we have a better idea of what is on there. We can make the collection more visible for scholars to come and visit. Jan Willem de Jong was the Professor of Buddhist Studies at the Australian National University, and really known as one of the gatekeepers, I think, of Buddhist scholarship of his time. And the reason he was so respected in that regard is that he had such an incredible library that if he was looking for some particular claim that one author would make, and he could just trot, through the kitchen and into his storeroom and actually get the particular book and be able to look it up and correct it. So his reviews are known for being absolutely to the point and incredibly erudite. There's the interest for scholars not just for actually be able to use the source material, but to understand more about the broader climate in which the scholarship flourished. We got specialists from Australia, ANU, and other past students of him, as well as members of the New Zealand South Asia Centre here, all who grabbed aspects of the collection that they found had resonance with their own scholarly interest and presented stuff on it. So that's the first thing to do, is really get scholars engaged with the collection and making it more visible. The next step is making it more accessible to the broader scholarly community, be it starting electronic conversations and scholars asking for things in the library to be able to scan it. But what the library really needs, I think, is that there is scholarly interest in it, but the only way there can be scholarly interest in it is if there's a good idea of what is in the collections.